All right, so artificial intelligence, it's here, right? It's here and used by the public now. ChatGPT 4, and then there's other, I guess, other services out there for anybody to be able to use. And this is an extremely large breakthrough to just get AI into the hands of the public. And there's probably tons of people who don't even know what they're doing with it. And there's also probably more and even more people that don't know how to think about the I don't want to just put it in terms of consequences, but the uses of it, the positives and the negatives, how to weigh those up and down. And I want to bring this into the context of coaching because that's what I do, and I think that's what I should be talking about more so on my page. But the first thing I want to talk about is what is artificial intelligence. And I'm going to look at this from not a deep perspective of like the mechanisms of artificial intelligence or how it's designed or whatnot, but it's a piece of technology. It's an extremely advanced piece of technology, and technology has been around forever, right? And that's something that I don't, to bring this in perspective, technology is really just a tool, something that we've created ourselves to make life or things that we do as humans more efficient. So, for example, a wheel was a tool, and that is used as technology in early human times, right? A hammer, same thing. If you look at a hammer today, they're way more sophisticated and um, uh, more advanced than I guess an original hammer. But the original hammer back, whenever this was, thousands, hundreds of thousands of years ago, maybe millions of years ago, was probably just either just something that they found that they could hit things with, whether that was a bone. A lot of times bone have a little bit more of a um, protrusion at the top than the shaft of it. Or it could have been like a log, or it could have been a rock that they were just swinging and hitting things with, and then they figured out that they could put maybe a rock and a bone together and tie it together with twine or um, a vine or even long strands of hair. Right? That turned into a tool. It's technology, and this happened through the advancement of life. We've created tools that have been used as technology to advance us and to do things more efficiently and make us do things faster and safer for ourselves and so forth. So, technology, like I'm a huge tech nerd for this reason. Not a tech, I shouldn't even say tech nerd because I don't really like sit there and study the different types of technology that are out there and really know all the working mechanisms to it. But I'm a tech enthusiast. I support technology. I love technology. I was an engineer in my past. I really like designing new things that make things more efficient and optimal for us. Um, so when it comes to using technology nowadays, you want to understand that there is an associated risk factor with every piece of technology that's ever existed, right? So even the hammer came with negative consequences. Now you could more efficiently attack other if you wanted to attack another human. Obviously, we wouldn't want to see that. If you had to hunt for an animal, maybe that was good for humans to be able to survive that way, but but then you could attack another human. You can bring your aggression out that way, right? Not a good thing. Let's move forward to every piece of technology that has been created or tool over the existence. You get to electricity. Now, electricity wasn't created; we discovered that, but the technology and the tool was that we were able to manipulate that. We were able to hone in on how to use it in ways that it's not just natural, right? So, we've created the light bulb. We were able to create radios. We were able to create computers, the internet, social media, now AI, right? All developed in our more advanced iterations of just discovering electricity. So we develop these tools and these pieces of technology, and then they have a cost benefit and ratio to it. So um, like I said, for example, with the hammer, that you could use it for use it in bad and good ways. You could kind of do a cost benefit ratio with every piece of technology in existence, and they probably rank as high risk and low risk. But speaking of AI, there's definitely right now a predicted high risk with it, but it also has a high benefit to it. So it's a pretty high ratio comparatively to that. And my point of this chat isn't um, to go over the effects that AI will have on humanity. I really want to bring it into coaching, right? So how do we use artificial intelligence in coaching? Fortunately, I've had this thought in my head for about 10 years because James Fitzgerald at OPEX was thinking about that back then. You know, AI, we've known about AI for a long time, many decades at this point, but he had in a seminar or in a chat or something that I did with him about 10 years ago, or maybe it was online, and said that we need to be thinking of these things because in the future, computer technology will start doing things better than humans can. Maybe not even better, but more efficiently, faster. Typically, it's faster. And so that thought's been in my brain of like, how do we deal with this? And you've seen a lot of posts more recently, and probably over even the past 10 years, of people saying that computers will never take over a human. And that's very true. Like, as far as I know, and maybe we know right now on artificial intelligence can't really uh, shape a perspective. It doesn't have a conscious, at least as we know right now. If you listen to some Lex Friedman stuff, maybe there is some way that it can develop a conscious, which is scary. But that there's let's just say it doesn't have a conscious. It can't develop a perspective, or if it can, it takes its perspective from what all information that it's analyzing, right? Which is typically our perspective put online or something like that. It is hard for it to shape its perspective, but it potentially can learn that, right? So so that's where I think the human connection is still very unique. Um, and it's not all about understanding what AI can do. It's also understanding what AI can't do that humans can still do. It's like the emotional aspect of things or sensing feelings. Computers right now can't do that, as far as I know, to a degree, at least to the intricate degree that humans can. You would have to program that stuff into it. Have to learn how to sense facial expressions or smells or the context of the environment around you and stuff like that. So, anyways, like I said, I didn't want to go too deep into that stuff, but when it comes to coaching, AI is going to be a massively important tool to get a hold of right now. Um, we've already been talking about it, the place that I work, about at Functional Bodybuilding, about how you can design meal plans really easily with it, right? And who wants to sit down and design a meal plan as a coach or even anybody when AI can do that for you? Now, automation can do this too. You can build a Google spreadsheet where it can pull in data and quickly design a what do you call it? A meal plan. But now AI can do that with just one button click. You'd be like, generate, and it'll just generate a meal plan. Whereas an automated Google sheet, you'd have to probably put in some inputs, and it'll do a lot of sophisticated calculations for you and save you tons of time. But this is also going to get into going into programming. It's also going to go into analyzing assessments, which could be biometric assessments. It could be blood panels, nutritional panels, things like that. It's going to be able to do all this stuff right away and spit out results and possible iterations or options of like, okay, what should we go with then? And that's really going to take away from a lot of the jobs that coaches do. Um, and so, are you prepared for that? That's a question to ask yourself. Are you prepared for that? Because if you don't use this and one company in the world starts using this, everyone's going to start using this. And it's just because we won't be able to do things as fast or as efficiently with the accuracy that AI can do it with. So it's definitely something that people need to get on board with. Sorry, not get off track here, but um, I don't want, we'll come back to that. One of the main things I want to go over with this is that I don't think that people should lose the skills and the mechanisms that we need to still have just because AI is now here. We should not be, we can give responsibility to technology to do things for us, but we can't lose those skills. So imagine if we never had to write again, right? If we could just tell AI to deliver a message, to respond to a text message, to write a letter for me, whatever it is. If we never had to physically write again, I think that that is a skill that we should not lose, at least in our generations here. Like AI isn't going to take over our generation so much that we need to start thinking of like how life is going to be in 2,000 years from now. We should have those skills. Those people might have different skills and have lost the art of writing, maybe, but as an example. But really, I'm getting to is the critical thinking aspect of this. Is like, if you're going to sit here and use AI and allow it to do some of these things for you, are you going to have the critical analysis skills to check that and see if it's good for the human or for the person, the client that it's sending this stuff to? That's an important factor that I want to bring to the equation here. Um, from my perspective, I guess this is, curious what anybody else thinks on this. This is going to be a big topic of discussion in the coaching industry for a while now. But if you told it to develop a meal plan, or you told it to write out a program based off of an assessment and analysis and the goals and all and the schedule of the client and the equipment list and everything like that, and it wrote this program out, if you looked at those programs, if they gave you 4 options, would you have written them that way? And what is the difference? Would you be able to critically think through that and say, why did it choose this and why would I choose something different? Uh, is the difference just insignificant? It's just a different style. And that's one big thing that I think a human has over artificial intelligence. Or you could just look at it from a different perspective, is like, if I deliver a program compared to another coach at functional bodybuilding, but we're writing for the same person, it'll look different, right? Because we both have different styles, but we also have different backgrounds of learning and education, so things will come out in a different way. AI will have the same thing. So that potentially could cause you to lose your style of coaching, right? Now you don't have a style of coaching, it's just AI. So these are the things that I'm thinking of, and curious what other people are thinking of AI. Are you going to use it? Are you not going to use it? Are you open to it? Do you have questions about it? I would like to start that discussion with those of you who follow me and see where this thing goes. But yeah, the big point here is that technology is really important for human advancement. I think we would probably stall and possibly even go extinct if we stopped continually advancing. And we'll use up our resources on this earth. I know I'm getting kind of deep here at some point, and we'll have to be off this planet to continue our existence. That's my belief, and I think technology is going to continue to take us that way. But we just need to know how to harness it and use it correctly, and use it as a tool, not in any nefarious ways, or allowing it to just take over things that we do and allow us to sort of devolve. We don't want to devolve because of technology. I think we should evolve with it moving along. So yeah, curious what anybody else's thoughts are on this and what you've been thinking about it already.